So you can catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan scratch it. This is real hip-hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it. Catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan. This is real hip-hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it. What you know about classic music?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Retro Wrestling Review Series, and we're playing catch-up this week. Not legitimately taking catch-up packets and throwing them around and all that type of stuff. I mean, yeah, but I don't have any catch-up packets on me, so we can't play that game. I'm on the Birdman Finch, and I'm here with
Chris.
So the reason we're playing catch-up is James was ever so nice enough to sacrifice his picks so that way we could get these retros done that we've been wanting to do for a while, but we were never able to do them because we didn't have time to do them one way or another. So today we're doing WWF Royal Rumble 1998. You picked this retro when we were going to do this, when we were hyping ourselves up for the Royal Rumble, and we were never able to do it.
Shit got in the way. Some big time shit got in the way.
Yeah, so we're going to finally do it now. We will tell you, we're going to try to get this done as quick as possible because Chris has to get off and then come back and then pick up his dad, but we're hoping that he'll be able to come back on, but we're going to try to get this done. I don't want it to be too quick because, we've been waiting to do this for a while, but so we're finally doing this retro. You picked this retro. That's why you're going to be on these retros because they were your picks. Again, we tried to do this back during Rumble time. We were going to try to do it again before I went on vacation, but then shit got in the way because we had other retros we had to do, and of course I went back to fucking work like the week it was supposed to be done. Do you remember off the top of your head why you picked this as your retro for when you picked it?
I do, because it's one of the main reasons. The Royal Rumble match is one of my favorites of all time.
Okay. So we'll talk.
I'll say it now because it's the three phases of Foley.
Yeah.
It's Mick coming in as three different iterations of his character and still losing.
Yeah. So it's we'll talk about it some more when we get there. But yeah, it's an iconic Rumble moment that gets talked about anytime they do their Rumble for 30 thin or whatever it is. Where it's by the numbers, they mention that he's the only one that's entered the Royal Rumble like 3 times and all that type of stuff. So it's an iconic Rumble moment and everything like that. So, but before we even get to any of that, we have to talk about what the state of professional wrestling was at this time. It was actually really good.
It was
obvious.
This is the midst of the Attitude Era.
Yeah. The Attitude Era was pretty much launched at this point. A lot of people, I think, don't think the Attitude Era really gets truly launched until Austin wins the belt at WrestleMania, and that's really not true. Yes,
Vince did the promo already.
Yeah, and that's kind of like when they found the guy to be in the Attitude Era, but it's obviously a lot of people debate when the launch of the Attitude Era was, but the Attitude Era was pretty much well in effect. It seemed like WWF had finally started to turn things around at this time because WWF was in a really bad state. To to the point where Vince McMahon, when he was negotiating deals with Bret Hart and stuff like that, he basically had to tell Bret Hart to go to fucking WCW because he was going to get a better deal there and everything like that.
Money trouble big time because before Bret was eventually released and went to WCW, they weren't doing well at all.
No.
Like they didn't really start like making big time money again until like this time frame, like late 97, early 98 through 1998. They were making millions again.
You definitely felt like there was a change late 97, late 98, early 98. WWF really started turning things around. They were really pushing the envelope. We've kind of seen that fairly recently during that time where Vince retired and Triple H took over. It wasn't necessarily Attitude Era, obviously, but you were seeing like there were changes to the company. Kind of the same thing was going on here where if you watch probably WWF early 97 and then watch late 97, it's a completely different company. You just notice the differences. Vince finally figured out like what I'm doing isn't working and finally started to make those changes. The Montreal Screwjob obviously was a big thing at this time. It really got a lot of people interested into the product.
That was like 2 months ago. That was 2 months from when this pay-per-view. This pay-per-view.
Vince McMahon pretty much he was the number one heel in probably the business. Obviously, he was obviously a heel, but he didn't start making on-screen appearances regularly, obviously, until Austin. But he pretty much became the Vince McMahon character through that, and then it became very well known to everybody at that point that he owned the company and everything like that. My uncle always tells me that nobody knew that he owned it, but my uncle obviously sometimes has this tendency to think that sometimes just because he was there, that's how it was. That's not true. Obviously, people knew that.
They fucking
owned it. Yeah,
around this time.
Yeah, so
I think it's when his feud with Austin really kicks off.
Yeah,
like,
but
closer to WrestleMania that he's outed. Actually, I think doesn't Bret do it? I think Bret outs him in late '97 as the owner.
It's pretty well known by this point. Obviously, people knew anyways that he was the fucking owner all along. Don't fucking pretend otherwise. Meanwhile, WCW is still a pretty big company. It's probably the number one company in the world. They're doing really well with the NWO.
Spiral.
The Starrcade 97 just happened, and they fucked up the main event really bad. So
that's Sting and Hogan, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So, they're about to fucking crumble, though. And it's a slow crumble, very, very slow crumble. Like, obviously, they're still doing well because the NWO thing's really working out, but they're about to crumble fairly soon.
It just gets really, really stupid.
Yeah, they're about to fuck up everything. ECW is doing really well. They just turned into like ECW pretty much. Paul Heyman just pretty much started running the company, and it became Extreme Championship Wrestling. Like a year before this, they had their first pay-per-view under the Paul Heyman regime in April of '97, and they're doing really well at this time. Obviously not as well as WCW and WWF, but they're like pretty much kind of what ROH
keeps getting poached.
Huh?
Because their talent keeps getting poached.
But, they're putting on a really entertaining product. They're probably kind of like what ROH is, where everybody really likes them. They have their dedicated fan base, and they're really standing out into the company. It just sucks that the talent keeps getting poached, like you just said.
Yeah.
But
the funny thing is, too, is like WWE and ECW were an alliance at this point.
They were.
Vince at one point tried to get Paul Heyman and ECW on USA Network.
Yeah.
So
that's why it doesn't make. You said an alliance. That's why it doesn't make sense that fucking ECW joins the fucking alliance when they bring that in.
Yeah.
Vince was helping him out,
because Vince had been helping him out for like a year at this point.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 years prior to that when they did the quote unquote, or a year prior to that, maybe. I think 2 years. So I think it was '96 when they did the ECW invasion of Raw, with Sabu botched his jump off the top of the Raw set.
Yeah. And New Japan, is doing pretty okay. They have that hard style. Obviously, I think they have their partnership with WCW going on, so that's helping them out, getting them kind of a mainstream exposure and everything like that. But they're doing fairly well. New Japan has always done well, except in that '05 era and all that type of stuff. But New Japan's
Early
always done,
2000s to about 2010. They
yeah.
were really struggling around that time
But
period.
here they're doing fairly well. They're getting the talent. They're getting that mainstream exposure from WCW and everything like that. NWA, because they make an appearance on this show, sort of, is really bad at this time. They're dwindling bad. They pretty much, have to go out on their own type of thing because they don't have the partnership with Eastern Championship Wrestling anymore. And we talk about how bad the state of the NWA is nowadays. At least they have a platform that could do their shows and everything like that. And they're not even talked about really at all. The one mention of NWA on this show, they get fucking eliminated from the Royal Rumble really fast.
Yeah, they were.
And
that contingent was a joke.
yeah,
they tried so hard with it, and they give up on it after like a few weeks.
Which I can't blame them, because it didn't work at all, because it was at that time where they were putting in, like, it could have worked, but it was right when they were transitioning into the Attitude Era, and nobody wanted to fucking see that. So, if it probably happened later, like earlier in the year or whatever, it probably would have been okay. But even still, then I don't know. AAA is doing fairly well at this time. They're getting a lot of their Mexican talent over. Unfortunately, WWE has a partnership with them a little bit, but no one cared about that because, again, if it had happened at a different era, that is one thing that does suck about the Attitude Era. I don't think anyone talks about. Like, as great of an era as it is, when they actually try to do wrestling matches, it doesn't fucking work because no one wants to see that, which I think sucks. I feel like the Attitude Era fans really just need to give that shit a chance. Really should have given that shit a chance. I'm saying should, like it was still in the fucking Attitude Era, but
they should have.
Yeah.
The partnership was unique and interesting. It was a big one at the time.
Yeah, and they have these fucking meathead wrestling fans that just don't want to fucking see that shit. Like, come on. Like, this is why sometimes I don't like the Attitude Era fans, because they don't understand that, like, wrestling is you need everything in a wrestling show. It can't just be all this adult content all the time and all that type of stuff.
Give me women in bikinis. Like, no, that's not how it works. We've moved past that. I don't want to ever go back to it.
Yeah. I'm
fucking women that
sick.
can actually fucking wrestle and not models who can't wrestle.
I'm fucking sick of these Attitude Era fans coming back thinking it's going to be the Attitude Era again. It's not going to be that ever again. Go away. Unless you're open to it, then you can stay. But go away, because you're not helping the business. You're the reason Vince catered to you for so long and didn't try with his booking ever. Because Chris and I didn't get awarded for watching all the time. You guys got awarded for no reason. You can tell I'm angry this morning because I'm fucking cranky because I'm
P&V.
Yeah.
Piss and vinegar.
I don't even need vinegar really either. So
poor piss.
Yeah. Well, I guess you wouldn't need vinegar. Yeah, you drink it. But anyhow, let's go through the show. I think we kind of talked about what the state of wrestling was at this time. So wrestling's really good. It's about to enter a really hot period, but we're not quite there.
Time period.
But we're not quite there yet. This is like the building blocks of it and everything like that. Going through the show, there is a free-for-all. I couldn't find it anywhere. It's really tough to find unless you have, like, it's not on Peacock or anything like that.
Nowhere.
I looked for it. They show footage of it throughout this show, but there isn't any, footage of it. So there you go. The commentary team was Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross. You could definitely see Jim Ross's Bell's palsy showing a little bit because his face at one point is like pretty numb at one point. He doesn't fully have his Bell palsy by this point, obviously, but you could definitely tell that it's coming. And there's nothing he can do about it. So that really sucks. But he's still really good here. They were both excellent on commentary. There's one match that Ken is really bad on commentary for. You know the fucking match, Chris. I think I know you haven't watched the show in a while, but you know the match.
Yeah, I know exactly that. Yeah, I kind of remember a lot of what happened on the show without actually watching it.
Yeah. They're really good together here. this is kind of like when they fully take the saddle. They become the commentary team pretty much all throughout because Vince. They had been on commentary together for a while, but Vince pretty much stepped away from commentary, obviously, because of him outed himself. He really couldn't do commentary anymore. So he pretty much gave JR and Ken the saddle, and it ended up really working out for him. Because that was a big risk, by the way, for Vince not to be behind the booth, because everyone had known him to be behind that booth for so long.
Since like the 70s.
Yeah, so it was a really nice change of pace. And I feel like they were a great replacements because let's be honest. I've talked about this. Sometimes Vince is good, but there's shows where you watch in the old days. Vince is rough on commentary sometimes. Like he's bad sometimes. Like
he is. He's really good at times, but like there are times where there were stretches in years where he was just brutal.
Yeah,
especially like in the 90s, like towards the end.
Yeah.
Like in that like mid 90s, early 90s range. It's like, oh man, because he was really good in like the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah,
like, he really got over Hulk Hogan and whatnot. But like other than that, like once he got into the 90s, he was getting really bad.
Yeah. This is when Ken, I think, started to become good on commentary. I think the reason Ken became good is while he was still a heel, JR kind of brought him to a level where like he had to kind of play like neutral a little bit. I feel like Vince wasn't very good at that because Vince wanted to kind of done his way. He wanted to be the baby face. I feel like
Vince was the babyface commentator, and he would despise everything a heel would do, which is kind of ironic now because he's one of the biggest heels in wrestling history
at this time. Yeah, so it was really unique because you never really heard this really happen much in a wrestling show before. So we had the intro and the cold open. The intro was just the WWF like intro at that time. The code open was really nice. It was just kind of them building up the Rumble match, talking about the two main matches on the show with the casket match and showing that everybody was gunning for Stone Cold Steve Austin going into the Rumble.
Oh yeah, because he was on the run. Because didn't they put a hit out on him?
They did. And then we had the first match on the show. Then it showed the pyro. The set was pretty cool. It was pretty much just the tunnels that TNA and AEW used to have. It was just one tunnel that they would come out of and all that type of stuff. I liked the set a lot.
The one thing I love about these shows, different pay-per-view sets.
I know, yeah. We've gotten that a little bit in the Triple H era, but we're still not fully there yet. Ever since LED became a thing, it's been rough. We had the first match on the show. It was the artist formerly known as Goldust with Luna Fashawn versus Vader.
Oof.
So Goldust made a gimmick change pretty much. He pretty much I think he was already heel, but he just turned more heel. And basically got rid of the Goldust gimmick. He dumped his on-screen wife / girlfriend at this time on
they
backstage.
were married in real life, so
yeah.
Him and Terry were very much married at this point in time and had been for years.
And then obviously this was Vince, what you can credit to him too, because WWF, so I'm sorry, wasn't doing this at the time, where they were actually kind of very into pop culture at this time. They were finally getting with the times, and obviously Prince at this time was doing the artist formerly known as Prince. That's when he started doing all that stuff. And they put this on Goldust. And you see shit like this. I think this is why a lot of people have respect for Dustin Reynolds as a fucking wrestler, because no one else would have done this shit, I don't think.
No, God, no.
Yeah, it was just a really rough time for Dustin. I feel like he was definitely fine with doing this. I feel like it was getting him over and all that type of stuff. And the Goldust thing was good. It was good that he changed his gimmick up a little bit, but I just feel bad for him.
Weird.
Yeah, I just feel bad for him watching this because he was just doing some weird shit, and it's like, it sucks. It was the Attitude Era.
I get like he's trying to be funny and like, and it was entertaining, but like, it wasn't really long after this, probably about halfway through the year, I think, going into SummerSlam, that he brought back the Goldust gimmick again.
Yeah, and like he was just doing some weird shit. And yeah, it's I feel like, and I don't say this as like one of those fans that says this is why you can't handle the Attitude Era. I say this because I like Dustin.
I
You
do too.
know,
I think everyone does, and this is just a really. It was a funny gimmick, and it got laughs, but like
yeah,
everyone wanted like Gold Dust. No one wanted this.
yeah, and
He
like
and then he became Dustin Runnels, and he became like he kept
yeah,
having signs as that he is coming, like a kind of like a he became a preacher, like a
yeah.
evangelical preacher.
This was just about this was just rough. This is why I'm happy he got to have the run that he wanted to have in
Yeah,
AEW because like this shit was just fucking weird and it's
and
just
eventually brought back Goldust, which was good.
yeah. Um, the reason for this too, he was attacking Vader. I think he attacked him various times. Goldust turned on his team at Survivor Series, which was funny because Lawler says the line on commentary says he turned on the United States because they were like the United States like team at Survivor Series. So he's like, oh, I turned on the United States. So Vader was out for revenge here. This is when they really dropped the ball on Vader. He was obviously kind of back. He was doing really well as a babyface at this time. So that he was kind of back in the limelight again, but this is kind of after like he should have been WWF champion a while ago and all that type of stuff. And don't worry, it's gonna get worse for Vader in a couple months. But yeah, we had the match here. Goldust starts attacking Vader before he really can get into the ring, which makes sense considering the fact that Vader's a powerhouse. You'd want to cut that down. It doesn't work for all that long. Vader just completely takes his head off with a clothesline. He destroys Goldust throughout the beginning portions of this matchup, throws him into the I don't think they were barricades. I think they were guardrails back then. And he throws Goldust hard into the steps. Like I thought this guy legitimately got hurt right here. Obviously because it's the past, we know it hadn't happened, but suspension of disbelief. And Vader's just destroying Goldust. Eventually, Luna Fashan grabs his ankle, and this allows Goldust to hit a clothesline. And this knocks Vader down. This didn't even make any sense. Like, he hits a clothesline that didn't even look that hard on Vader. And the guy's on the freaking floor. Like, what the hell happened? Like, this did not happen. I don't know if it was meant to happen. Like, it was so weird. I'm like, wait, that took down Vader? Like, what the hell's going on here? And then he tries to go for like the sunset flip, but Vader's too much of a powerhouse for him to be turned over. And they do the typical spot. I guess they don't do it as much anymore, but they would do it. This would be a spot in every big man match where he'd go for like a leg drop and he'd move out of the way and he would hit his hips and stuff onto the apron and all that. Not the apron, but the ring. It's a typical spot they would do all the time. And Goldust takes down Vader. He beats him up. He works over his legs and everything like that. At one point, he hits a like an elbow axe handle smash right to his stomach, but that looked a little low right there. And then he throws Vader himself into the steps, and the steps topple over. I typically hate when they would do that spot, but this made sense because if you see the size of Vader, you would understand why the steps topple over. That's obviously going to happen no matter what you do. Eventually, Vader starts to mount a comeback. He starts going off on Goldust, hit some nice power slams and suplexes. He goes for the Vader bomb, but Luna Fashan distracts the referee, and Goldust from behind hits a low blow, and Goldust is down from this. It's not. I think Vader's kicked his ass so much that he can't really capitalize on it, and he tries to go for the final cut. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking doing that. It's fucking Vader. So Vader's able to counter that as he should have. And then Vader goes for the Vader bomb. Luna Fashan hops up on him and does the sleeper hold to him. But because Vader's so powerful, he does the Vader bomb. And if anything, it was a worse because he had another person on him. So Goldust just got all of the weight of Luna Fashan and Vader.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, poor Goldust, man. And Vader pins Goldust. And Vader wins the match. This made sense. There was no reason for Vader to lose here. Not like Goldust's career was going to change at all if he won this match. He was still going to be doing this weird shit, so it really didn't matter. So I give the match 3 stars. I thought it was a good big man match, and I thought Vader came off looking like a star here. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree. It was a pretty solid match. Yeah, Luna taking that fucking bump was. I think she almost knocked herself out.
Yeah.
But when Vader came down, her fucking face hit the mat.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she almost knocked herself unconscious.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We've done a career retrospective before on Goldust. We kind of already just did it tier 2 because we felt bad for him. We've done Luna for Sean. Go watch Royal Rumble 2000 for that. Vader, unfortunately, I know he shows up later, but we'll just do his career retrospective now. It didn't get much better for Vader. I remember how I said, "Oh, this was a good way to rebuild him and everything like that." They ruined that. A month later, he would get jobbed out by Kane, and
He's
then
just a big fat piece of shit.
yeah, that happened. So then he left. Then he was out of the company. He went back to Japan. He was dominant in Japan. Really dominated the promotion. He got to be the old Vader again. He made an appearance at NWA TNA when that company got going again, and then he did some more stuff in Japan. I believe he's teamed up with Carl Anderson in Japan, so that's pretty cool. I'm really happy that Carl Anderson got to do that. It's good. It's a good notch that he has. And then he would make a return to the WWE a few times. Obviously the biggest one was when he showed up I think it was like right before Raw 1000. That was like the biggest return I think he had in the WWE. And then he showed up in TNA for the one final time. I think that's like his last match where he won by DQ for no reason. Didn't he? Because why would you want to have him win IOL? But whatever. And then he's inducted a few people into the Hall of Fame. He inducted Stan Hansen. And who else did he induct? He inducted somebody else into the Hall of Fame. I forget who it was, but I remember he inducted.
I forget who it was too.
But I know he's inducted 2 people into the Hall of Fame. And then it came out that in like 2017, 2018-ish, that he was battling cancer. He didn't have long to live. WWE screwed up and, didn't put him into the Hall of Fame when he could still make a speech. And they put him in last year where he couldn't be there because he had already passed by then. And, there's a lot of people, I think they talk about this and this person, like, not going to the Hall of Fame and all that type of stuff. That still pisses me off to this day. The fact that, like, this dude, like, he legitimately said, I only have this amount of time to live, and the WWE didn't put him into the Hall of Fame when he could have come out himself to make a speech. That still pisses me off to this day. I'll be honest, I couldn't even watch when he got inducted this year. It pissed me off to the point where I freaking fast forwarded it because it was WWE trying to correct a mistake that that can never be corrected. And there's a lot that pisses me off to this day that guy, because it's not like he had heat with the company, so why the hell did they do that? That just pisses me off to this day. Because he was battling cancer and they had him come in to duck somebody else. I'm like, hello? Battling cancer here. He's there. Why is he not going in? That pisses me off to this day. Next. And it doesn't help that I'm cranky because I'm tired. So I'm even more pissed off. But next, Michael Cole's backstage. It's always weird. This is like early Michael Cole days. It's so weird to watch Michael Cole. He looks so young.
He's a backstage interviewee. He wasn't even like... He had been in WWE for like maybe not even a year at this point.
I know. He looks so young here too. And he's trying to give us some information about what's going on with Stone Cold Steve Austin because Jerry the King Lawler was giving us some like false information from his sources. I don't know what his sources were. That like Stone Cold Steve Austin is not even going to show up for the Rumble. His sources were wrong because who shows up? Stone Cold. And he shows up in his truck. There'll be more on that later. And Stone Cold Steve Austin gets interviewed and talks about how he's just gonna go raise hell and he's gonna go and he's gonna kick everyone's ass and win the Royal Rumble tonight. And then he goes into the arena, and Michael Cole's giving us some more information, and then the Godwins come up and they want to know where Stone Cold is, and Michael Cole said, "I don't know. He went that way." I like how he went, "I don't know, he went that way." Like, it's like, you just saw him. Like, what are you talking about?
Hey, he's doing Steve Austin a solid.
Yeah. And then they go in there, and I guess Austin like moved, like he ran fast because it's like it wasn't that long. He went in
The
there,
speed of light.
yeah, like did he just like where the hell was he? Like where did he go? Did he like did he like turn invisible? What happened? Like
Couldn't find him. He's
yeah,
invisible.
I like this segment though. I thought Austin was awesome here. What did you think?
It was good. It was a good segment. Pretty funny.
Then we have the worst match of the show, and these guys let's try. This is like one of those things. It kind of is what it is. It's I'm not gonna be able to say some of these names. I think it's Batalon, El Torito, and Triantula versus Max, Mini, Mozak, and Novea, with Sonny as the special guest referee. I almost said Sonny Kiss as the special guest referee. But
Time traveler.
no, yeah. Obviously, this is just a match. This is when WWF started doing deals with the minis and everything like that. They would bring them in for like a pay-per-view match. And they would throw them onto the shows. I think it'd always be the same match. It would always be the 6 people. I think they changed the teams up, so sometimes people would be here, people would be there. And the theme music that these freaking minis come out to was just traditional like Mexican music you hear.
Yeah.
The baby faces are the worst one. I'm like, what the hell is that? Who? And I don't think it's a Peacock thing, by the way, because you can tell when they've added music in.
Oh yeah.
But this was like,
tell.
yeah.
It's like anytime after 2003, it's like when they had Power Man.
Yeah.
They still continue the old theme song that Bubba came out to in like 2014.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the match where Ken's commentary is just abysmal for this match. He's making basically every short joke that he can make. And it was funny like the first couple of times, but he just keeps doing it. He keeps doing it. He has to hit it home. Like, yeah, these are minis, guys. These are minis. These are minis. It was really annoying at one point. JR was doing it, but he didn't do it like obliviously. It got to a point where JR couldn't call the match. It's not as annoying because at least it wasn't a woman's match this time because boy, you can't get him to stop talking. At least here he stopped. Like he did have to call a match at some points, but it's what it is. It's really tough to call this match. I'll just say this. The wrestling in the match was good, but the commentary wasn't good. JR tried his best, but he just couldn't get anybody to care about this. The fans didn't care. They were chanting, "This is boring" at this time. And this is still like, even though we're not fully in the Attitude Era yet, this is still like that Attitude Era crowd. And if an Attitude Era crowd base is chanting, "This is boring," that means they don't like this. And I can't blame him, honestly, in this case. I know he just literally just trashed him. But Vince was throwing these wrestlers out there and not telling us who they were and really just not giving us any reasons to care about them. And yeah.
True.
And then, it didn't help that Sunny was out there not really knowing how to be a referee.
Oh, she was horrific.
Yeah, she was really bad as a referee. There's a lot of cool dives in the match that happened, which I liked.
It does at times get the crowd to pop a little bit.
Yeah.
When they start doing like the high flying stuff, but like other than that,
yeah, and I think
like 95% of it.
Yeah, they tried their best. I will say it was WWF trying to like also because the cruiserweight division in WCW was on fire at this time. Vince wanted to try to counteract that, which is why he brought in the Junior Heavyweight Championship. I believe that was already in effect by this point, and this is why he brought this in. But it was just Vince, as he typically does, doing something that he doesn't understand, and because he's frustrated, he doesn't want to understand it. He gets frustrated and then backs out on it. A lot of people think, by the way, too, that was like a recent Vince thing. He's always done this. I think there's a lot of people don't recognize it because this is the Attitude Era at the time. But that's exactly what happened. Vince did something that he didn't know. He didn't want to know. He didn't want to understand, and he got frustrated. He's like, he went, "Oh, I don't get this. I'm done with this spy. Get out of my company."
Exactly.
Like,
it's always been a Vince thing.
Yeah, I think people just think it. I think it just happened when it got. I think his age it just got worse just because he didn't. Old men, as you know, Chris, because you're an old man, don't understand anything. Decrepit. Yeah, if you're decrepit, Vince is even more decrepit. So, but yeah. I believe the baby faces win. I believe one of the minis rolls up the one of the other ones, and wins. I feel like it was like I think it was El Torito that did it or something. No, yeah, it was like Max Mini and that did it to El Torito, I think. I don't know why, but Sunny looked like she was like the most gassed out of this, and she didn't even wrestle. I get being a referee isn't as easy as you think it is, but I don't know why she looked the most gassed out of anybody here. I was like, what's going on there? What happened?
It wasn't if she was just standing there.
Yeah, it's not like she did like the referee job type of thing.
She didn't even fucking do anything.
Yeah,
It was useless.
and then yeah, that was that. Career retrospectives. I'll just do a quick one, just because it's tough. It was really tough to look up these people because you don't really know them. Max Mini.
They're obsessed with him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he came back. He was isn't he Mask Zuita Sagrada? I believe that's who that is. Obviously the minis didn't last much longer. Again, Vince just abandoned the project because he didn't understand it. He got frustrated, and he went back to AAA and everything like that. Eventually, they tried the juniors again in 06 on SmackDown, and that failed. And then he was in Lucha Underground for a little bit, and he still does his thing in the Indies and everything like that. I'm happy he can still get into the business because he's actually pretty good. I believe Nova was Octagon Ciento nowadays, and he's wrestled in the Indies. He showed up in TNA/GFW when, that was a thing, and then he hasn't really done much since then. I believe there's three of these guys are dead. One of them just died of health issues. I believe that's Triantula, and El Torito and Batalon, the other guy. That's like I was gonna read it word for word, but we don't have the time, and I just don't want to read that because it's really negative. There's a big thing that happened, like there was a big shootout or something, like a big murder thing. It was like a big thing that happened to them. They both like got into like a big murder thing, and it was just really sad. Like it got to a point I didn't even want to read it anymore because it's really sad. And then Mosaic, just kind of did his thing for a bit, and he's just chilling. He's allowed to. People are allowed to chill. So, I guess the quickest thing I can say about Sunny's career retrospective is she stayed in the business for a while. She left the company. She just randomly started no-showing shows, so they let her go. She went to ECW and WCW, did the same gimmick, and the same thing happened. And then she's done things in the business. She went into the Hall of Fame, and I believe she sold a Hall of Fame win, if I have that correct.
No, yeah, she sold it to make money because she's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And then she killed someone.
Yeah, she
loves to get arrested and she loves to go to jail. It's her favorite thing to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Almost a fucking hobby at this point.
Yeah.
How many times can this bitch get arrested and kill someone before they fucking put her away for life?
Yeah.
Please, just put her away for life already. She killed a fucking innocent old man recently.
Yeah, so there you go.
Fucking vehicular manslaughter.
Yeah. This match, by the way, the match has a star rating. Is 2 3/4 stars. I thought these wrestlers put in the effort, and I'm not gonna hate them putting in the effort. They were just set up to fail. What did you think?
Yeah, I give it 2 stars. Like it's probably not gonna get it's not gonna get any higher than that. It was a spectacle. It was mainly like a ha ha ha, look at them, they're small, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But I mean, watching it back in January when I watched it, I was really like, I was impressed. I mean, the crowd was dead as fuck because they didn't care. But like, there was a few high spots that got them out of their seats a little bit and made a little bit of noise. And that's all you can really ask for because the crowd was completely fucking dead. But I felt the match was solid.
And then the Nation of Domination's backstage, minus Rocky Maivia. He's doing his own thing at the moment. And they're gonna beat up Austin. And they go in there. And this is right when Mark Henry joined the Nation of Domination. And Farouk tells him that he's got to earn his keep because Farouk didn't want him in the faction, but Maivia added him to the faction. And They go into his locker room, and Austin's not there. There's just a foam finger of a middle finger, which was like his big thing at the time, and it was really funny. So yeah, I thought this backstage segment was funny. Then Rocky Maivia gets interviewed. This is when Rocky Maivia had just turned heel. Maivia talks about how he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. He talks about how the Nation of Domination, there's no cracks in it because they did a promo earlier at the Free For All where they all argued about who was going to win the Royal Rumble match. And he talks about how he's going to beat Ken Shamrock one way or another, which was a foreshadowing about what was going to happen in the Intercontinental Championship match. Really good promo here by Rocky Maivia. This is when he started to become really good on the mic, and he really got to showcase that. So I really enjoyed it. What do you think of these Nation of Domination segments right here?
I like them. They were good. They were good. They were good segments.
This is when you could tell, by the way, too, that Rocky Maivia was going to become the leader fairly soon. They were building to that at the time where he was going to be where he was taking over pretty much the Nation of Domination. So
soon.
Yeah, like it happens fairly soon, which was obviously the right choice. Going through the next match, it was an Intercontinental Championship match. It was The Rock, Rocky Maivia defending against Ken Shamrock. Reason for this match was Rocky Maivia had joined the Nation of Domination. They obviously, at the time, he was not getting over at all as a babyface. He was really... and I can't believe I have to say this. It's going to sound really bad. A white meat babyface. Very vanilla, really not getting over. There was at the point where they were chanting, die, Rocky, die at him. He was more vanilla than his cousin, who they almost made the same mistake with by not turning him heel. Certain tribal chief, if I want to say. And eventually they wised up. Luckily, he went out due to an injury anyways. So he came back and he turned and joined the Nation of Domination. And it worked. Like, I think typically nowadays, I don't think this would have worked because I think people would have cheered nowadays because it's the smokier.
Oh, for sure.
Crowd. But like it worked back then because everybody didn't want The Rock, Rocky Maivia to turn heel. This is when he got the nickname The Rock, and that became his wrestling name.
Himself gave it to him. He gave it to himself.
And then he won the IC belt, I think, shortly afterwards. And I believe he didn't even win the belt. He just Austin gave it to him pretty much because he didn't want it anymore, I believe is what that storyline was. And,
he just kind of gave it to him.
Rocky Maivia was just becoming a huge, was really making a name for himself. You could just see he was going to be a big star. And I mean, we say that with hindsight, but if you probably watched this like back then, he was going to become. You could just see this guy was going to be a star.
For sure.
Ken Shamrock was a real ass kicker at this time. He was feuding with the Nation of Domination, and he was taking them out one by one to get after Maivia. Can't make that mistake because I can't say that name yet. And Mark Henry was the hurdle. Rocky Maivia brought Henry into the Nation of Domination, which is kind of like what started the dissension of the Nation of Domination, because Rocky Maivia was making decisions without telling Farouk about it when Farouk was meant to be the leader here. But you could just definitely tell that was going to change. Like, if you watch the program and stuff at this time, Rocky Maivia at this point was pretty much the leader of the Nation of Domination by this point. We had the match here. It's really good. The match starts off. They both chain wrestle. There's a couple of occasions where Maivia tries to take a cheap shot at Shamrock, but Shamrock's obviously too good to see that. There's one point where he takes a shot and Shamrock knocks him to the floor. Shamrock is a real powerhouse to Maivia. Maivia consistently gets taken down by Shamrock with some high-powered, quick offense and everything like that. Maivia eventually nearly takes his head off with a clothesline. He starts dominating Shamrock. He hits a float over DDT onto him. And he hits a suplex onto him. And yeah, he just really dominates him. He hits the spine buster, which became like his signature move later on. He threw him into the steps, and he just really worked over Shamrock. Eventually, Shamrock mounts a comeback. He hits a belly to back suplex, a really good German suplex onto him, and I liked Lawler here on commentary. He was really good. Going against the babyface, really into the heel at this time, and I thought JR was the perfect person to it. He was kind of neutral here. Eventually, the match spills into chaos, and I believe D'Lo Brown runs down, and everybody else, and Kama Mustafa runs down, and Shamrock fights them off, and Maya Villa grabs Brass Knuckles while D'Lo Brown's tangled into the ropes. The ref's trying to deal with that, and he knocks out Shamrock with the Brass Knuckles, and the ref goes for the count, and Shamrock kicks out. Typically, I think I complain about this. You kick out of a brass knuckle shot, but it's also fucking Shamrock. Like, I thought they got a so I thought that got him over. And Maya Villa puts the brass knuckles not into his trunks, into Shamrock's trunks, and eventually Shamrock has this huge comeback. He hits a belly to belly suplex onto Maya Villa. And Maya Villa doesn't kick out, and I think a lot of people complain about this because, why was that it? Why would that just end Rocky Maya Villa? You just killed his momentum here. But if you watch the match, and I've watched this again since then, it was all part of the plan because, Ken Shamrock celebrates with the Intercontinental Championship, and Maya Villa starts holding his jaw. And he was never hitting the jaw by this point, by the way. And he tells Mike Chioda, who's the referee here, to check Shamrock's trunks. He starts checking his trunks, and Shamrock has this look on his face, like, "What are you talking about?" He has this look of concern, and then he pulls out the brass knuckles, and ref's like, "Wait, what is that? What are you doing here?" And Shamrock's like, "No, it's not what he looks like." And he's like, "Nope, you're disqualified." Reverses the decision. And Rocky Maivia retains his Intercontinental Championship. And fans boo. This was a really good thing, though. It really made a lot of sense. I like the way they did this. It protected both guys. It protected Shamrock because there was just no way Shamrock was going to lose to Maivia. And Maivia really couldn't lose. So I thought this was great here. It built to the rematch later on at WrestleMania 14. Where the same thing pretty much happens to Shamrock. He just got disqualified again. And I really liked this. I think this was the building blocks of Rocky Maivia becoming a top guy in the industry. And it doesn't happen without really Shamrock, a good person for him. So I gave the match 3.5 stars. It was really good. And I like the finish a lot. What do you think?
I like the finish. I like the match itself is excellent. Again, you had to get Rock over big as a heel, so it made sense to it made sense for him to pull off the dickishly heel moves.
Yep. And afterwards, by the way, I forgot to talk about this. Shamrock, he destroys Chioda when this happens. He puts him in the ankle lock, and it was not good to be Mike Chioda that night. It was not good. I could say this was mean, but this was kind of justified here. You can't blame him. So
you can't blame him at all.
We've done career retrospectives of both guys. For Rocky Maivia, you can watch any retro from 2000, and for Ken Shamrock, you can watch Backlash 1999. Then Los Barriquas are backstage, and they're gonna go take out Stone Cold Steve Austin. They enter. And it looks like that there's somebody back there that is Stone Cold Steve Austin, but we find out that it's not the case. It's either 8 Ball or Skull. I almost called him 8 Ball. Mixed up the names. It was one of them, so it wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin. It led to a big brawl between is it the name of the faction? I forget it every time. The Disciples of Apocalypse and Los Barriquas.
Yes.
So it is. I liked this because it accidentally started another feud. It just sucks that the feud that it started was not a good feud. What did you think, though?
Yeah, I mean, the baldies.
Hmm.
Yeah, very bald men.
They were.
Every bald guy apparently to them looks the same.
I guess so. I mean, they do look alike if you think about it, though. So we can't really hate them too much. So then we had the next match. It was a WWF Tag Team Championship match. It was the New Age Outlaws defending against the Legion of Doom. New Age Outlaws, a fairly new tag team at this time. They had just joined DX, and they basically just have the gimmick that they've had for years at this point. They were just starting this gimmick back then. Legion of Doom were on their second run with the company. They had won every championship. They had recently just won the WWF Tag Team titles, and eventually they would go on to lose them to the New Age Outlaws, where they cheated to win them, and Animal was coming in with a hurt back at this time, and it was questionable whether or not he was going to be cleared to wrestle. Now, it didn't show it in the video package, but I'm just trying to remember this. I think this is, but this might be after this. Is this around that time where it was Hawk? Or, I think it was Hawk, because I think Animal talked about this, where they started doing that storyline where he was like a drunk and like wanted to commit suicide or something. Or was this?
Yeah,
after
that was
this?
later on.
Okay, so we're not there yet then.
Yeah, we're not there yet because Roz hadn't joined yet.
Okay, but yeah,
It's soon though.
yeah, you could definitely tell it's coming though. And yeah, really good storyline here. We had the match. It's really weird to see Road Dogg with hair. I didn't even know he ever had hair. I just thought he always had it shaved.
No, yeah, he very much did have hair.
It's just so weird to see him with hair. And he does this promo here. It's obviously not over yet because it's still fairly new, where it's basically the New Age Outlaws. He doesn't have the catchphrases yet or anything like that. He just kind of comes out and cuts like a heel promo and everything like that. But you could definitely see he's starting this. That he's starting to work this out. I mean, the thing that's always been there was the Road Dogg Jesse James. I don't think he calls him the badass Billy Gunn here, though. I think he just calls him Billy Gunn because that wasn't a thing yet. And we had the match itself. Before the match, LOD cut an interview talking about how they're going to come here tonight and win their WWF Tag Team titles back. It's a really good promo. So they come out. They beat up the New Age Outlaws. They just dominate them. Completely destroy them. It was not good to be the New Age Outlaws at this point. And yeah, they just destroy Road Dogg for a while. Eventually, Billy Gunn holds Animal's leg, and they beat him up. They throw him back first into the announcer's table, and Hawk doesn't want to see this happen. He kind of tries to come in and get something going, but he gets outnumbered. They handcuff him to the turnbuckle, and they force him pretty much to watch Animal get beaten up while Hawk's handcuffed. And Animal tries the best he can. It looks like he's going to win the match anyways with a power slam, which this power slam, it looked like he nearly broke Billy Gunn's neck. It was bad. But then Road Dogg comes in with a steel chair and cracks it over Animal's back. They beat the crap out of him. They really destroy him, and eventually Hawk removes is able to break free from the handcuffs and fight off the New Age Outlaws, but the damage has already been done, and that was pretty much the end of the match. I thought this was good. I liked what they were trying to go for here. I think they could have done this a better way, though. I thought the ideas here were in place, but instead of them doing the DQ finish, I would have just had the New Age Outlaws retain the belts. Because really, what did you have to? They really didn't need to protect LOD. Like, you could have still had Hawk be handcuffed to the ropes, but he's just outnumbered and all that type of stuff. I really don't think you need to do a DQ finish here. You're having people pay for your pay-per-view and you're doing a DQ finish. Like, and it's not like people at this time are paying $9.99 on Peacock level. I don't even think you're paying that anymore. But
$9.99.
You're paying like $30, I think, by this point. I don't think it's $50 by this point. There's no reason to do a DQ finish.
It was like $20.
It didn't make any sense to do that. And yeah, they really I thought had something here, and I thought they could have done this a little better. I got what they were trying to go for. I still gave the match like 3 stars. I feel like this match could have been a little bit better too. It's not very long. By the time the New Age Outlaws get the heat of the match is pretty much over. So I was like, okay, what are you doing that for? But yeah, I gave the match 3 stars. What did you think?
I give it 3 stars too. Not a big fan of the DQ finish. I don't really like DQ finishes to begin with, but
Yeah,
you're paying fucking $20 at the time, which is a lot of money.
yeah,
$25 in that range.
yeah,
I want to finish. I'm
yeah,
paying for this. I want to finish.
yeah. Definitely I saw this for free though. So
Yeah, that's
uh,
really
but yeah, we've done career retrospectives before. They would have a rematch on Raw where the Legion of Doom would go on to lose, and then obviously the Legion of Doom's career in WWF went right down. See you later. Goodbye, guys. See ya. Then they start talking. They announced that the truck that Austin came with, yeah, they were giving that truck away pretty much. They had a Austin 316 truck giveaway, and they just basically said that this person won it. I don't know. Obviously, that truck's really probably not around anymore. I hope this person took good care of the truck. I like to JR and Ken were like, "Yeah, you better take good care of the truck because we're gonna send somebody over there to make sure it's good and clean." Like,
Oh yeah,
I kind of wish they would have done
someone,
that. Like it.
someone who's cold, baby.
It would have been hilarious, by the way, if like the person showed up and it was like a shit box when they showed up. It was all like torn apart and all that type of stuff. Like it's like
I would instantly be like, "Yep, give me that truck." Because
yeah,
Stone Cold Steve Austin put his fucking hard-earned time into destroying this thing for me.
yeah. Oh, that's what happened.
No.
Oh, okay. That would have been hilarious, by the way, if like, because Austin was gonna start to do that shit soon. Like, if they just went and smashed his truck later on, like it's like you're doing this truck giveaway, and then he goes and smashes the truck. I thought that'd be hilarious. I really, Vince nowadays would have done that too. Do this big giveaway and have him smash the thing they're giving away. Like, oh, yeah, you can have
He's
it.
done something similar with Braun Strowman.
Yeah, he has. Then we had the Rumble. The biggest story in the Rumble was obviously that Austin was a marked man. He was basically attacking everybody by this point, and he wanted to basically everyone. Austin's head was on a swivel. Everybody wanted to go after Stone Cold Steve Austin. They wanted to really go after him. Always weird when the Rumble doesn't main event. There's been exceptions, and I think this show was the exception to it because I think that with the way this show closes, it was more impactful. How weird is it? I know we're not if we had done this if we had been able to get this out Royal Rumble time, because the same thing happened this year with the Rumble where it didn't main event, but the ending angle this year was more impactful that had the main event. So
Yeah.
kind of funny that we're doing another Rumble where that happened. But yeah, going through the Rumble, I have to get Wikipedia up for the entrances and everything like that. I know number one and two. Number one is Cactus Jack, and number 2 is Chainsaw Charlie. Obviously it's Terry Funk. This is when he changed gimmicks. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Mick Foley said this. Didn't Terry Funk hate the Chainsaw Charlie like gimmick? He didn't want to do this gimmick like at all.
Yeah,
Eventually he warmed up to it, but like I remember he didn't want to do this gimmick at all. Like, which I don't blame him because this I will talk about this. Obviously this fits the time because and it shows that WWF was changing for the better, kind of going into an edgier product because this is obviously heavily influenced by Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, I forget what the guy's name is in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but pretty much the guy that runs around with a chainsaw and everything like that. That's who
Leatherface.
Yeah, Leatherface. That's who Terry Funk is here, pretty much. So, which is really cool. It showed that they were updating with the times. I mean, I say that fucking movie came out in the 70s, but I'm pretty sure they've obviously made other movies. I think they were starting to make other movies at this time, and that movie was like a classic anyways. I feel that it showed they were changing for the better, like right here. I think the reason, one of the reasons, because you see it happen in this match, Terry Funk would have to wrestle like in like the Leatherface like mask almost. It wouldn't be completely, and he has to like lift this mask up so he can like see in the Rumble what he's doing. Like he has to lift it up at some point. It's really funny, but Chainsaw Charlie's entrance is just a chainsaw that runs the whole time. He comes out legitimately with a chainsaw. And at first I'm thinking, okay, this is a sound effect. No, you hear this chainsaw run for like a while in the Rumble match. Like it continues to go. Like apparently nobody knew how to shut this chainsaw off. And I think it was a gas chainsaw. I don't think they made electric chainsaws back then. I really don't know because I don't know anything about chainsaws. I bet you're thinking to yourself, Chris, what are you talking about? You've worked landscaping and you've been around chainsaws. I just don't care enough to do the research on it. I just don't care. You couldn't ask me to.
Unreal.
So yeah. But yeah, these people did not know how to shut this chainsaw off. Like you had to hear this chainsaw go off. Obviously, you could tell the chainsaw wasn't like I don't know what the term is, but it was not loaded. Like obviously, I think I don't know. Terry Funk's crazy enough, and I think Cactus Jack / Mick Foley's crazy enough. I think he would have let him lose a legitimate chainsaw and stuff on it. But you could just tell there was no chain on it, so it wouldn't cut anybody and stuff, like a blade and all that type of stuff. So there you go. But yeah, they go at it, and immediately when they go at it, like Cactus Jack sees him, and he grabs a bunch of weapons and everything like that. Like, yeah, let's just not mess around here. We're going to town right here, guy. And they just start, destroying each other with weapons, with chair shots, and you could Chainsaw Charlie. I almost called him the wrong name by accident. Nearly he was gonna cut Cactus Jack with a chainsaw, and like luckily it's a good thing Cactus Jack had a chair in hand and was able to block it because that was scary. And then the referee takes the chainsaw. Like, good job, referees. Good call on that. They destroy each other with trash cans and various weapon shots. And the next entrant is Tom Brandy. Now I didn't know Tom Brandy was a wrestler. So when I heard the name Tom Brandy, you can understand my mistake. When I'm like, wait a minute, what? Did I just hear a different name than I thought? But no, it was Tom Brandy. But still, I still laughed at that because what happens to Tom Brandy in this match immediately gets eliminated. Right when he gets in, the Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie put their differences aside. They destroy Tom Brandy and eliminate him. I liked that. I think I liked it more when I thought it was another name, just because, he had just retired. That person who had the other name had just retired, I think, by that point, and it made me laugh. So there you go, I was laughing. And then Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie continuously destroy each other. Cactus Jack suplexes Chainsaw Charlie onto a couple of chairs that have opened up and stuff. That's pretty cool. And then the next entrant is The Rock, Rocky Maivia. He's number 4. He's the breakout of this Rumble. He's really the star of the Rumble. There's obviously one other person that's probably the star of the Rumble, but he's really the workhorse of the Rumble. He lasts all the way till the end, and he does some really good stuff in the Rumble. He attacks Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie. Eventually, Cactus Jack hits Maivia off the head with a trash can, and poor Maivia here. They beat him up. They 2-on-1. It's really mean. Poor Maivia.
Too bad the Rock and Saw connection couldn't work together.
They weren't a thing yet. And plus that's a different person, don't forget. So there's a Cactus Jack here. What are you talking about?
The Rock and Cactus connection.
Yeah. And then Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie continue to go at it. Number 5 is Mosh. He does okay in the Rumble. He does some solid things. It kind of breaks into like a 4-way type of thing, where like they kind of separate Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie from each other and all that type of stuff. Number 6 is Phineas I. Godwin. Weird wrestling name, but that's the name they chose. And he does fairly well in the Rumble. He gets a really cool boss man slam onto Mosh. That was cool. Number 7's 8 Ball. He looked pretty good in this Rumble. He did some cool stuff. Number 8 is Blackjack Bradshaw. I couldn't help but laugh when I saw Blackjack Bradshaw come out. And I just laughed at this because obviously I know his history nowadays and stuff. And I really wish James could have been on this retro and stuff, but he's just too tired for this. He would have had a field day seeing Blackjack Bradshaw.
Jack Bradshaw.
Yeah, it was hilarious. He looked really good in this Rumble, though. Yeah, I thought he looked like, a guy that could have hung with the company for a while, which is weird that I'm saying that because I have that hindsight because he did hang in the company for a while. So, but like he looked like,
I wonder what happened to Justin Hawk Bradshaw.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. The number 9 was supposed to be Owen Hart. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to come out right away. Jeff Jarrett attacks him from behind. At the time, he's the NWA North American champion. And he's with the NWA affiliates or whatever they're called, with James E. Cornette. And he holds him in position so James E. Cornette can hit him in the back with a tennis racket. Really kind of disappointing. This is kind of what you choose to do with Owen Hart, though, because this is right after the Montreal screw job. Like, and you're not pushing this guy. Like, you never gave Owen Hart a title shot or anything. Yeah, it did kind of feel like you were burying Owen Hart here. At least it wasn't the last thing he did in the company before, obviously, what happens. It's kind of funny, too, that, like, Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart are feuding at this time because they go on to become a tag team later on. So that's pretty cool.
This is, like, still face Owen Hart, I think, right?
Yeah, he's really, I think other than Austin and maybe Maya Villa, he gets, like, the biggest pop when he comes out, too. I think he got the biggest pop of, like, the whole Rumble by this point.
Yeah, because he's getting completely changed at this point. It was like,
yeah.
He was, like, in revenge mode.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed they didn't. I mean, obviously they didn't. He didn't necessarily have to become the main eventer because obviously it would have been a terrible timing. But he should have gotten like at least a title shot against Shawn Michaels at some point. It just didn't make any. I guess they didn't want to talk about Bret Hart too much, but it's weird because he does a promo later on, like earlier than this, where he does a shoot promo talking about it. So I don't get why they didn't at least give him a title shot.
I don't know why either. They could have. It would have been big bucks.
Yeah, it would have made the company money and everything like that. Like that they were. You remember how we say they were slowly going to start to make money again? It would have been slow if they booked that match. Oh,
for sure.
Number 10 was Steve Blackman. He looked really good in this Rumble. Number 11 was D'Lo Brown. I actually kind of liked the fact. Even though it's kind of weird that the Nation of Domination actually didn't work together all that much in this Rumble because it shows there was that infighting. I don't know if they just forgot to work together because Maya Villa and D'Lo Brown immediately attacked each other. It was kind of funny. I laughed. I feel like WWF hadn't worked out the format yet. Like you're in a faction, you can work together in a Rumble because, or like a tag team or whatever, because everyone just kind of did whatever they wanted. Number 12 was Kurgan. He looked fucking awful in this Rumble. He was terrible in this Rumble. He was
Kurgan ever good?
Yeah, he was terrible. The thing that pissed me off the most is the fact that he goes up against he has a face-off with Steve Blackman, and somehow he wins the face-off. I know what people are gonna say, like he's bigger than him. This didn't make any sense at all because Steve Blackman has like a legitimate MMA background, and he's fucking losing to Steve Kurgan. That doesn't make not Steve Kurgan. Just Kurgan. Yeah. That didn't make any. That didn't make. That didn't make any sense at all. But
Steve Kurgan time.
Yeah, but Kurgan has some eliminations here. He eliminates Mosh. Mosh looked like a geek getting eliminated. When he got eliminated from this Rumble, he like moved on. He didn't. He just was like, "Oh shit, I'm out. I'm out of here, guys. See ya."
He's no Steve Kurgan.
No, he's not. And then he eliminated Steve Blackman, which made me really mad. When I saw this at the time, I like threw my pen across the room because I was so mad this happened. Even though it already it happened in '98 already. I can't do anything about it. I don't know why I got so mad about it, but I did. And then Kurgan was awful. And then next is number 13 is Mark Mello. This is when he's with Sable. This is when he starts to turn heel, and they start to do the Sable storyline, which was pretty good. That obviously ruined their marriage, so it's not good. Number 14 was Ken Shamrock. He takes it to Kurgan. I was so happy he eliminated him and like dropped him and stuff like that. Like I was so happy Kurgan got eliminated. He's fucking awful. I'm glad he got out of the business when he did.
Too bad for Steve Kurgan.
Yeah. Number 15 was Thrasher. He looked pretty good in this Rumble, I guess. He was just kind of a name. He was a body that was there. Number 16, first of the second appearance of Mick Foley. It was his other gimmick, though, Mankind. I like Lawler's reaction here when this happened. Like, wait, what? Then you wasn't you said the Rumble? Like he was so confused about this. I loved his confusion here. He didn't understand, like he didn't understand what was going on right here. And I actually liked what they did here. They had Mankind eliminate Chainsaw Charlie here. I thought that was really good storytelling right there. And I liked how JR then said revenge for Cactus Jack right there. I'm like, yeah, sure, JR. Why not? Why not?
It is revenge for Cactus Jack.
Yeah. And then he beats up he's a House of Fire here pretty much. I don't think I feel like his elimination should have been more eventful. He just got randomly eliminated by the artist formerly known as Goldust for no reason. That was just weird. Like, what are you doing that for? The number 7
at this point. Who fucking knows at this point?
Yeah. Number 17 was the artist formerly known as Goldust. He was in a different outfit here. It was better than what he was wearing earlier, I guess, but I was still so sad for Goldust here / Dustin Rhodes / Dustin Reynolds / Black Rain. So, yeah, I just felt bad for him.
Black Rain.
Yeah. Number 18 was NWA's North American champion, Jeff Jarrett. It's really hilarious when you do the research because he wasn't even the champion coming in. They vacated the title off of another guy that wasn't even in the promotion, just so that way they could do this storyline. It's hilarious that they did that. The WWF had basically forced NWA's hand right there. I think that's hilarious.
Like fuck you.
Yeah, like I think the guy had just won the belt too. Like he had been the champ all that long. All of a sudden, he's having to drop the belt so they could put this storyline. Like, yeah. By the way, you're a champ now, right? But you gotta vacate the belt, bud. And he's like, wait, why can't I just come in? I can be a great NWA champ. Yeah, no, that's not my plans, pal. I think that's hilarious.
You're not that guy, pal.
Yeah. Owen Hart runs out. He completely beats the crap out of Jeff Jarrett and completely eliminates him from the Royal Rumble. I liked this. This was at the time where NWA was making dumb decisions at the time too. Not obviously in this time frame, but like in the 2023 time frame. So I'm like, yeah, you show them, Vince. Show them why they fucked up. So yeah. But yeah, no wonder why the NWA affiliates can't get over, because it's shit like this. But at least it's Owen Hart that did it, so no one really complained about it. People loved it when this happened, and I loved it when it happened. Then number 19 is the Honky Tonk Man. He was a surprise entrant, I believe. I don't even think he was with the company, really. He was just there. He lasts way too long in this Rumble. Like, I don't know why he lasted so long. It really didn't make sense. He's the Honky Tonk Man. He does his thing in this match, I guess. It's really weird doing this. Like, at the same time, China and Hunter Hearst Helmsley come out, and you would think they were like a faction together because they come out like at the exact same time. But he was just he was just coming out doing his own thing, type of thing. So Hunter Hearst Helmsley, this is going to be annoying because I have to remember to keep calling him by this. Is on crutches, and it's really tough to look this up because it's the Attitude Era. They didn't leak this stuff out, but I think he is legit injured here because he doesn't take any big bumps on this show. He doesn't, like, no one really does anything to him on this show, so I think he was legitimately injured here. Because there's a bit later on in the show, I'll just talk about it now, where Kane comes out and he walks right by Helmsley. So I think he was legitimately injured here. He doesn't take any bumps.
Yeah, he's been hurt. So
Yeah, because typically when they would still he would have done something and still because he still does stuff, but he doesn't take any bumps or have any damage done to him on this show. So, but Hanaho's Helmsley comes out. He was feuding with Owen Hart at this time, and because he was feuding with DX, and China tries to hit Owen Hart with a crutch, but Owen Hart blocks it. And during this chaos, Helmsley hits Owen Hart with a crutch, and it causes him to get eliminated from the Royal Rumble match. And then they beat him up with the crutch, and they clearly had to do this because Helmsley had to go away, and there was no way that Helmsley at this point was going to be able to outrun Owen Hart. So what happens is Helmsley limps away and everything like that, and Owen Hart runs to the back, and he nearly trips going to the back. Lawler called it out and everything like that. But it's what it is. I liked this bit here. I thought it put over the WrestleMania 14 feud that they were going to have, so that was really good. And I like the way that they eliminated Owen Hart. I thought he was still over coming out of it. Number 20 was Ahmed Johnson. You could tell something was off about him when I didn't even know about the backstage stuff, but you could just tell something that wasn't right with him in this match. None of his offense looked good, and
nothing looked good.
But you could just tell something wasn't right with him in this match. Like, he did not look happy in this match. Now, obviously, when I do the career retrospective, I'll talk about why that's the case. But you could just tell something was off about him in this match. Number 21 was Mark Henry. He looked pretty okay in this match, considering the fact that he hadn't been in the company all that long, a wrestling period all that long. So he looked pretty okay. 22 was Skull. Not like an actual skull. Like, that's actually a wrestler. So, 23 was Kama Mustafa. Oh my gosh, he was terrible as that gimmick. The Rumble continues to this point. Around this time frame, it's like the 20s slot. Because I'm pretty sure there's someone that's supposed to come out that doesn't come out, and we're meant to think that it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it wasn't Stone Cold. It was actually Skull. He's the one that doesn't come out. What a loser Skull is. He couldn't even come out.
What a fucking complete waste of breath.
Yeah, like, because what happens to Skull, like, that isn't even all that bad. It was from the Los Barricos beatdown. Like, wait, they didn't even beat you up all that bad, buddy. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, it's not like they hit you with a chair or anything like that. They just did like a few punches to you. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
get the fuck out there, you pussy.
Yeah, I know. What are you doing?
You're a pussy.
I know. Yeah, what a loser. And we're not talking about him anymore until I have to do the career retrospective. But yeah, so Jerry Lawler with his sources had sources that, like, apparently Austin had been taken out backstage. I'm like, yeah, you mean the pay-per-view that you were watching, buddy? That sources you were talking about? Were those your fucking sources, pal? Like,
good for them. Good for those sources.
Oh, by the way, he changed his pick in the Rumble match a lot.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
And I think this is like the first. I think this is the first time he had ever done it, like, in the history of the Royal Rumble, because I think this is the first Rumble he ever called. So he changed his pick a lot in this Rumble match right here. So,
as he should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 24 is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he gets a huge pop. He probably gets the biggest pop by this point, and he comes out, everybody just stops and waits for Austin because they're the guy that everybody wants to go after. And Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out through the crowd and attacks everybody. He hits Stunner and eliminates one of the what's the name of that tag? The Headbangers. He eliminates one of them. He eliminates
the Banging Heads.
Yeah, he eliminates Phineas, and he just starts going to town. Eventually, the number 25 comes out, and it's Henry O. Godwin. Number 26 comes out, and it's Savio Vega. And all Los Barricos come out, and they try to beat up Austin, but it fails miserably. Austin tries to go for the stunner on Vega, but Vega counters it. I wonder if there was a relation between Zelina Vega and Savio Vega. Something to think about right there. But yeah, the match continues. Eventually, Rocky Maivia attacks Austin. He throws him through the ropes. And Lawler was like convinced, like, oh, I think Austin's out. He like wanted Austin to be eliminated right there. He was like convinced about it, by the way. He's like, yeah, Austin's out. And like JR was like, no, I think he went through them. Like, no, he's out. He's done. He's done. Like he was like convinced. He would not listen to JR right here. Like, and Rocky Maivia destroys Austin. He throws him into the steps. He drops him throat first onto the guardrail, which is that's really not nice. That was really unnecessary. I get Maiavia's supposed to be mean, but that was just real. You could have just thrown him into the steps. You didn't need to throw him throat first into the guardrail. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's just being nice.
That was not nice. The guy has legitimate neck issues not that long ago. You over there doing that. What are you doing that for, man?
He's just being nice to him.
That's not nice.
He's graciously he put him down.
That was not.
He
That's not.
up and then he just put him down again.
Yeah, that did not look very gracious. So
he's just being a nice man.
Number 27 is Farouk. He's the nation of domination. He's the leader. He comes out here. Number 28 was Dude Love, which JR couldn't even believe this one. Like, he was like, wait, what happened? What's going on here? They did not understand what was going on here. They completely didn't get it. Yeah. He starts going off on people. He eliminates Henry O. Godwin, which made him really mad, but there was just nothing he could do about it at that point. He had to
That's too fucking bad.
I guess so. And then number 29 is Chains. I almost called him Chaz, but it's Chains. I don't even think Chaz is a real person's name, so but he's Chains. And then number 30 is
Steve Kurgan. What a group.
Yeah. Number 30 is Vader. Vader got a pretty decent pop here. Not that big considering the fact that he was just wrestling earlier, but still pretty big. And yeah. Okay, so I'm just reading this on Wikipedia. Honky Tonk. The reason why Hunter Hearst Helmsley and China won in the Rumble is Honky Tonk Man was like their replacement, I think. So there you go. Well, not the best replacement for Hunter Hearst Helmsley. I think they could have gone someone better, but you know, it's what happens. And yeah, eventually Austin makes it back to the win. He starts going to town on everybody, just eliminating people left and right. It comes down to Steve Austin, Dude Love, Farouk, and Rocky Maivia as the final four. I thought that was a really good final four right there because it made sense because Austin and Dude Love were a tag team at one point, and obviously Farouk and then sorry, can't call him that yet. Rocky Maivia are in the faction together. It's a big four-way. It kind of starts off as a tornado tag, but Austin and Dude Love go at it. Eventually, Dude Love gets eliminated by Farouk. So it's just down to Austin versus the two members of the Nation of Domination. And Farouk's attacking Austin in the corner, and Maivia acts like he's going to get up and help him, but he pretends like he's too worn down to do so. He just doesn't want to deal with that. And eventually, behind Farouk's back, he eliminates him from the Rumble, which didn't make Farouk very happy at all. And then Austin and Maivia go at it. Austin nearly eliminates Maivia, but he's able to hold on. And then eventually he hits a stunner on Rocky Maivia and eliminates him. And Stone Cold Steve Austin wins his second Royal Rumble in a row. And yeah, this really should have been his first Rumble win. We could talk about this in another retro. I think this Rumble win would have been a lot more if he didn't win already a Rumble, but it was still pretty awesome. He was still really over and everything like that, so it didn't affect him too much. Maivia really was a standout in this Rumble. It really showed that he was going to be a big-time player for the company for years to come, and this Rumble really helped establish that. I thought Mick Foley's appearances in this Rumble were really good. I liked what they did with Owen Hart in this Rumble. And, you know, I liked, what else did I like in this Rumble? There was something else I liked in this Rumble.
Nothing.
And I liked Ken Shamrock's appearances in the Rumble. I like the way Ken Shamrock gets eliminated too, where it's like a dirty elimination type of thing. So that was good. So I thought the Rumble was great. I'll give it like 4 stars. The thing that sucked about this Rumble is there's like a bit right before Austin comes out where like nothing's happening at all in the Rumble. It's just kind of people doing stuff. And and you're just kind of waiting for Austin to come out. And it's like a little softer version of the 2000 Rumble where you're just kind of waiting for Maya Via. Well, I guess since it's 2000, I can call him that. You're just waiting for The Rock to come out by that point. It's the same thing here, but it's not as bad because at least Maya Via is carrying the Rumble by that point because he was a true talent. Still is a true talent. But I thought this was a great Rumble. Obviously, the things I would change is Kurgan's appearance in the Rumble. He would have even been in the Rumble.
Good old Steve.
And obviously, I wouldn't have had Honky Tonk Man last that long in the Rumble. And the Skull, get out there. What are you doing, man? Come on, what were you doing? But what did you think of this Rumble overall?
I loved it. I loved the 3 phases of Foley. I loved everything was. I really liked this Rumble. This is a really good Rumble.
Would you give it as a star rating? I know it's tough for you to really star rate Rumble because it's a different animal. But
4.5.
Okay. Going through quick career retrospectives, we've done Mick Foley, so that covers all of the 3 phases of Foley. Chainsaw Charlie will continue to be Chainsaw Charlie. Eventually, he became a tag team with Cactus Jack, and they won the belts, right? They've won the belt at Mania. I believe they won the belts at Mania, and then
they held them for a brief period of time.
Yeah, they lost him really fast, and then eventually he transitioned. He had like a retirement match, and he transitioned into a backstage role. And then he left the company. I think he went back to ECW and did his thing in ECW. Had a retirement match there. He went to WCW, had a retirement match there. And then he's done the indies, and he's had so many retirement matches that you really can't count them anymore. That's basically his career retrospective. And then Tom Brandi was released from the company shortly after this for no reason. And then he did the indies, and he did autograph signings as the Patriot without the actual guy's consent, and it led to a big thing. And I don't know how the battle ended because it didn't say. So I guess it went. I don't know if it went well for him, but Tom Brandi is a nothing, so we don't care. I don't care about that. Obviously, I've done Rocky Maivia before, so I don't need to do him again. I think I've done both members of the Headbangers. I've at least done Mosh, and you could just pretty much take Thrashers because Thrasher never did anything single, so it's the same as Mosh. Phineas I. Godwin is Midian, so go watch Backlash 1999 retro for that. 8-Ball and Skull are both the Harris twins. They would not last much longer as a faction. They would continue to do stuff as a tag team where they would still be these gimmicks, but they didn't really do all that much. Then they left the company. They went to WCW, and they were Vince Russo's like hired guns. They were like the creative control or something like that. And then eventually,
Gerald and Patrick.
Huh?
They were Gerald and Patrick.
Yeah. Eventually, they left the company altogether. They had like one run in TNA where they did something, but they didn't do anything else. They wrestled in the Indies, and then they both retired from the business quietly. Blackjack Bradshaw, we've done before. Go watch any retro from the 2000s. I mean the year 2000, not the 2000s. We've done Owen Hart, unfortunately, before. I think you can watch Backlash 99 is where we would have done it because I think he shows up on that show. Steve Blackman, go watch any retro from 2000. D'Lo Brown, I believe you can watch any retro from 2000. Kurgan didn't last much longer in the company. After his faction folded, they tried him as singles, but it didn't really work. And then the Oddities were a thing. He was in that faction, and they were meant to be heels, but the manager got released, so they turned him babyface, and it wasn't good. Then he left. He's done some acting. He's a pretty big actor now. He's done some pretty big shows. And yeah, that's Kurgan. So Mark Marrow went on to do a storyline with his wife, which ended the marriage. And then he went back to WCW, where he really didn't do all that much. And then he did a run in TNA. And then he has come out since the steroid things, has said some controversial things about the Chris Benoit stuff, which basically blacklisted him from the wrestling business entirely. So, not that's not good, man. You can't be doing that stuff. Not very nice.
Not very mean.
Ken Shamrock, like I said, we've done already. We've done Gold Dust, like I said. We've done Jeff Jarrett. The Honky Tonk Man would have a few surprise appearances in the business. Eventually, he was ousted from the business for a while because he made a bunch of shoot interviews and all that type of stuff. And then he eventually got into good graces with WWE. He went into the Hall of Fame in 2019, and he's just being a good guy.
Yeah.
Being a nice guy now, all of a
What
sudden.
if he isn't, though? What if he's just really, really mean?
Yeah, he might be. Ahmed Johnson left the company a month after this. It stems from his sister was battling cancer, so he wanted to go take care of her. And then there was a bunch of people saying racist stuff backstage. So it was all, which is why I don't think he looked good in this match. He just didn't seem like he was very happy. And then eventually he went back to WCW, but really didn't do all that much. And now he's retired completely from the business. And he helps out Booker T on occasion when it comes to his wrestling promotion. So at least he's still contributed to the business. We've done a career retrospective on Mark Henry. We just did Skull, so go skip earlier to the video. We've done Kama Mustafa. Go watch any retro from 2000. Stone Cold. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin. We've done before. I think, did we do Stone Cold? I feel like we have. Yeah, well,
we've done Stone Cold Vault. Yeah.
Henry O. Godwin. I forget what his real name is.
What are your name?
Oh,
I know it is too.
Yeah.
I think let's see. Mark Canterbury.
Yeah, I don't think we've done him. He really didn't do much more in the business. He was in the Brawl for All tournament, I guess.
Didn't he have a really bad neck injury?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
So it led to him having to retire, and that's why Midian became a thing. More and
1998, he had Canterbury herniated a C7 vertebrae and pinched a spinal nerve, necessitating spinal fusion surgery.
Yeah.
This came as a result of him returning too early after his neck injury. So he had 2 neck injuries, and he came back way too early from the first one, and it completely fucked him up.
He did some stuff with Deep South Wrestling, but it didn't last very long. And then, he just...
he took part in the Undertaker celebration after he retired.
Mm-hmm.
And the Thunderdome, along with the rest of the Bone Street crew, which was Taker's backstage group.
Yep. And now he does some things in wrestling he's done some things in 2021. He had a match recently, so there you go. So I'm happy that he got to have a match and stuff. So there you go. And Midian obviously didn't handle his retirement very well. It got to the point where he just couldn't even put clothes on anymore. That's how bad it was. So,
yeah, that man was naked.
We've done Los Pericos before. I'm pretty sure they show up in the 2000 Royal Rumble Retro. I'm pretty sure they make an appearance there. We've done Farouk before. Go watch any retro from the 2000s. I'm pretty sure we've done Change. No, we haven't done Change. He's Brian Lee. After this, he's done some stuff with TNA and the Indies. He didn't last much longer in the business, anyways. And then he worked the Independents and he retired from the business in 2014. So, and then we've done Vader. I just did Vader. I was gonna say, when we've done Vader? I forgot we did this. I just did it a second ago. So I can remember. I can remember who the first WWF champion was, but I can't even remember whose career retrospective I just did, and I just did it not that long ago. So that's great. Then Mike Tyson gets interviewed. He's been on this show. He's been shown all night. This is when they just started doing a deal with Mike Tyson, which was a big gamble for the WWF And it was a huge risk to do this because he had just had rape charges and everything like cleared not that long ago and all that type of stuff. And he was a very controversial figure to have a part of this. And luckily it worked out for the company in the long run. But it was a huge gamble for them to do business with Mike Tyson at this time. But he's there. They talk about how he was this huge wrestling fan. And the funny thing is, he actually was. Like, it wasn't like they just brought somebody random person. I shouldn't say random person, but like they just brought in a celebrity who actually wasn't a wrestling fan. He legitimately was a professional wrestling fan. So it helped. And I think it helped the business a lot because it gave the business legitimacy because a lot of people will say, oh, what are you watching that shit for, dude? Wrestling's so fake and all that type of stuff. You gotta tell that to Tyson, by the way. Tell Tyson what you're watching wrestling for. You gotta tell him that. So it brought legitimacy to the business.
You have to fall asleep.
He didn't fall asleep. That was later on. He wasn't yawning or anything like that. So that would be a retro someday. But he looked into the show. He was sitting down with the McMahons. We saw Shane McMahon. I don't think Shane McMahon was doing stuff with the company, but he wasn't a on-screen character yet. He was just kind of there. And then, he gets interviewed by Michael Cole. He's all hyped up to watch about what he saw at the Rumble. He was so happy to see his favorite wrestler at that moment, Cold Stone, win the Royal. He called him Cold Stone.
I can't wait until Cold Stone takes over the wrestling world.
He did.
Cold Stone Austin Steve.
He called him Cold Stone.
And then that stone must have been really cold.
And then he said that he's looking forward to seeing his boy Shawn Michaels retain the WWF Championship against the Undertaker, and that was
not
obviously
Michael Shawn.
Yeah, not Michael Shawn. And that was obviously
Over
a time.
Undertaker the.
Oh, that was awesome. That was great. Yeah. But yeah, I like this Tyson interview here. It gives you a lot of laughs. What did you think?
It's pretty crazy. McMahon Vince gets involved eventually.
Then we had the event main. It's a championship WWF match. It's Michael Shawn with Helmsley Hunter. I screwed it up. With Hunter Hurst, I have to end that joke now. With Hunter Hurst, Helmsley, and Chyna inside. He was defending the title in a casket match. Not a match casket, but a casket match. With
the match casket.
Against The Undertaker. Now, do I have to talk about the feud backwards? Does Tyson think everything happens backwards now if he's giving up people's names? Does he think this match would happen at first and then the feud happen afterwards? Like, does everything backwards?
Everything's backwards. Everything he thinks is backwards.
So does he walk backwards?
It was actually Vader. It was actually Cactus Jack who won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it was. It was.
And he eliminated Chainsaw Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, the final three was Cactus Jack, Chainsaw Charlie, and Tom Brady.
Yeah, and Vader was in number one. Now, so did the show happen? Was this the first match of the show for him? And then the
this
main
is the
event?
first match of this is the first match on the show for him was the WWF Championship match. And it closed with Vader versus the artist will win as Goldust.
Wow, what a main event that was. And then does he think this is the end of the year right here? Does he think that
it's fucking December for him?
Oh, Mike Tyson. So does he call himself Tyson Mike?
Tyson Mike. It's Tyson Mike.
What are you doing, man? So is he Maya via Rocky?
Yes, he is. He's Maya via Rocky. And this is Helmsley Hurst Hunter.
Yeah, that's what I tried to say earlier. I guess China's just China, right?
She's Ain Cha.
What is called? Is it called? It's called Michael.
It's
So does he?
Undertaker the against Michael Sean.
So do you think he has all his meals in reverse? He has dinner in the morning. I
Great
guess
idea.
lunch at lunch. I guess he has lunch. At least he can have lunch at the same time, no matter what. And he has breakfast at night.
His breakfast for dinner. What a great invention.
And then you think he drives in reverse too? He
Oh yeah, everywhere he goes. Can't drive forward.
he has right
What's
back.
wrong with you? You're fucking weird if you drive forward.
Yeah. And you think he went to the show first, then bought his tickets?
Fuck that. I'm going to the show first and then I'm gonna buy the ticket. I'm not gonna. Back then you did go to the show to buy the tickets because there was really no online back then.
No, but like he actually went to the show. He went to the show first, then bought his ticket after the show was over. Like, like, hey, can I buy my?
You can't do that. It's already over. What are you doing?
How'd you even get in here? Do you think when he has a big boxing fight coming up, he has the boxing fight first, and then he does all the hype for it and trains for it after he's already done the fight? Like
he does the fight first, and then he does the training, and then he hypes it up.
So it's already happened.
It's already happened.
I got nothing else. I think that's a lot. I think that's a good one to end it off of. You have any more? Do you think we're good?
I think we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. Got a few laughs. Got a few cries. Got a few tears. Got a few sadnesses.
For Mike Tyson, by the way, that would all that stuff you just said. Reverse that, by the way. Do you think he No, I got one more. Do you think he watches a TV series in reverse? Do you think he watches?
Oh yeah,
he watches
the season finale. To the fucking first episode. He watches everything in fucking reverse, like an idiot. So he knows if it's like a show with a lot of killing in it. He knows who dies before he even knows any of the characters.
He does, and it's not just he watches the series in reverse. He watches it backwards too. He watches like the last scene, and then
it's like if you watched like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you won't even like the original, like watching that in reverse. All you see is Leatherface at the end spinning the chainsaw around, and then he's like chasing her back into the house because it's in reverse.
Everything's in reverse for Mike Tyson. No, if everything's in reverse for him, does that mean everything's normal for him and everything's just in like we're the ones that are weird?
We're in normal time and he's in reverse.
You ever seen that Family Guy episode where like Brian Griffin screws up and he accidentally sends everything back? That's fucking Mike Tyson right there.
It is.
So when Brian Griffin screwed that up, was Tyson forwards and everybody else backwards? Like
it could be. It could be.
All right, I think we're done now. I think we got them all out there now. We can't make these jokes anymore, by the way, because we've done them all now. So
killed.
Yeah, the main event was the casket match. This is kind of like the last match, if you think about it, of the New Generation era, because they were both very heavily. Obviously, they were in the Hogan era / the Golden era / the 80s, but they became big stars and everything like that, and main eventers. I guess Taker always was a main eventer, but Shawn Michaels more specifically was a main eventer. Oh, that's a good. I got one more. Do you think in Mike Tyson time you start out as a main eventer and then you become like a jobber at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly what you do. Fuck that. You get to the highest of the highs. And then you go
get
to the lowest of the lows.
I don't know if that was a good one to enter off of. That was a sad one, kind of. So, but yeah, so this is kind of like the last guys of the new generation era. Would you consider this the last match of the new generation era, or no?
It's kind of like in limbo at that
Mhm.
point because it kind of is, but Vince had already done the promo
Yeah,
to bring it into the Attitude Era, but yeah, like I would say this is probably the last like new generation like big match.
yeah. But I totally just asked you that question, by the way, just so I could take a sip of water and stall. That's why I asked you that
What a
question.
great idea. I mean, but it's a good question though.
Yeah, very good question. See, I didn't just ask a question for no reason. So,
No, because you could
um,
technically count that as being in the new generation.
yeah. But you know, the reason for this match was obviously Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, IOL at this time, and in kayfabe didn't get along. Shawn Michaels had screwed up by accident when he was a special guest referee for the SummerSlam match and cost Undertaker the WWF Championship, and it led to them having those great matches at Ground Zero where there wasn't a finish, and then they had the first ever Hell in a Cell match, my favorite match of all
A
time.
fucking great match.
And that led to Shawn Michaels winning that when Kane debuted and cost the Undertaker the matchup.
That had to
Shawn,
hurt your fucking soul.
well, we got Kane out of it though, and I always liked Kane, so it didn't hurt me too much. And
Okay,
then
you like your childhood hero getting beat up like that. Shame, shame.
Shame. And then yeah, and then Shawn Michaels had the Montreal Screwjob. He was just a part of that. He was the number one heel. I
He
would probably
literally knew
say,
what was going on. I don't care what he says.
yeah. He was the number one. His reaction says otherwise too.
And the
He,
fact that Taker sat down and taped his fucking fists up shows you how much he hated Shawn Michaels.
yeah,
He's gonna beat the shit out of him.
but Shawn Michaels at this time was probably the number one heel in the industry at this time, IOL and in kayfabe.
Well,
Well,
he had been a IRL heel for a long time, even like as a babyface, because
maybe
no one liked him.
maybe number two behind Vince, but obviously Shawn Michaels was on screen in when the number one heel at this time, and they ran back Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker again. They had the rematch in the casket match. And yeah, obviously they tried to stir up some drama. They tried to bring Kane into DX. They should have waited a few years because then he probably would have joined. But because he did. But it was obviously a ploy. Undertaker wanted Shawn Michaels to leave his brother out of this. Like Bret Hart told me, don't mention my brother when I met him in person. But don't mention my family, not just his brother, but his family. So I guess I can't talk about Bret Hart matches anymore, Owen Hart matches. So that's not good. But yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So then they did an angle on Raw where Kane saved the Undertaker, and it looked like the Undertaker and Kane had made up. And everything was looking good in the Undertaker's world, and everything was leading. You were thinking Undertaker was going to win the title here and everything like that. And yeah, it was the main event. So you were probably wondering, like, what is this the main event for? There has to be a reason for this because it doesn't make sense for the Rumble not to main event. But there was a reason for that. But let's get talking about the match and everything like that. Again, Hunter Hearst Helmsley and China accompany Shawn Michaels, but Helmsley doesn't take any bumps because he's legit injured. At least I believe so here. He has to be. But going through the match.
I think Triple H is IRL hurt here.
Yeah. Going through the match. Undertaker starts off by dominating the matchup. He hits a lot of really high power moves in the match, just really destroying Shawn Michaels. And there's a bump that's very significant in this match, and it happens a lot sooner, I think, than a lot of people realize. I've seen this match before, and know the spot, but you forget how early the spot happened. So
It's very, very soon into the match.
yeah. Undertaker hits a back suplex over the out of the ring, and the casket is placed very close to the ring, and Shawn Michaels takes a bad bump onto the casket and completely lands on the floor. And this bump's very significant because this is the bump that took Shawn Michaels completely out of the business for 4 years after WrestleMania 14. He was this bump ruined his back. And if you can tell, by the way, I'm pretty sure now they don't put the casket that close to the ring anymore.
Oh no, they
that's
don't.
The reason.
Because that was bad. That was bad on them to do that. I get why though, because like if you do a move in the ring, you want to roll them out into the casket. But yeah, that like shattered his fucking back completely.
Yeah,
Broke his back. Like he was fucked up, and you could tell like the next night on Raw, he was in some serious fucking pain.
yeah, you could kind of tell a little bit in this match, like he is grimacing a little bit. Now, this is just me speculating. I assume Shawn Michaels probably was on big time painkillers and everything in the match, anyways. So I don't think he felt it.
He
when
was.
it happened. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't think. Now we'll talk.
Besides Triple H, but
yeah,
Triple H, not Triple H, Shawn Michaels 100%.
Now, as bad of a bump this is, this ended up being a good thing that this happened because the Shawn Michaels we have nowadays, we don't get that Shawn Michaels if this doesn't happen. Like this, it doesn't happen for a while, but this caused Shawn Michaels pretty much to turn his life around. It doesn't happen right away, but without this bump here, the groundwork for it doesn't happen. So, in a sense, you could say the Undertaker is the reason Shawn Michaels is the man that he is today. So, it's by accident, but this bump right here ended up being a positive thing for Shawn Michaels, and I think he'd say that too. I think he has said that. Like, if this bump doesn't happen, who knows what Shawn Michaels would Shawn Michaels even be alive today? Type of thing.
OD.
Yeah,
honestly, they were all on it.
Yeah. And now he's and if this bump doesn't happen, all the NXT tag teams, by the way, are still together, by the way, if this bump doesn't happen. How funny is that? All the NXT tag teams are still together. If this bump does not happen.
If this bump doesn't happen, tag team wrestling and NXT is saved.
So but yeah, so let's give Shawn Michaels props. Again, he was probably high on pills and all that type of stuff anyway, so it doesn't matter. But he still went through the match, again, because he's on fucking adrenaline, because he's on painkillers. So there you go. Painkillers, pills.
As you name it. Anything pill related that dude was on. He was not afraid to try it. You put a pill in front of Shawn Michaels, he will fucking swallow it at this time period. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna put my I should get that shit when Shawn Michaels in the future. Put melatonin in front of him. He'd be fucking swallowing that. He should be swallowing all that shit. Like here you go, Shawn.
That dude would that dude took so many fucking pills it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, I should put like a prank pill in front of him, like one of those fake pills. Like I wonder if people did that to him. Like he's like, oh shit, thanks, and it's like a fake pill, and he's like, he's like, where were the effects here? And the guys are just like, yeah, that pill wasn't real. It was a prank pill. And he's like all pissy about it afterwards. Back to he's like, I want, huh?
Because he needed his fix.
Yeah, he's like, wait, what happened to my fix? I want my tin. I would be like the worst like sponsor if somebody got clean, because I'd totally do that to somebody. Give him like a pill to get like their fix in, and he thinks like he like relapsed. Like, shit, I just relapsed. Holy shit, what am I gonna do? And then I'm like, yeah, dude, that was a prank. There was nothing in there. You didn't even really relapse. I would totally do that to somebody.
Prank, bro, you've been pranked.
You didn't really relapse. You didn't really relapse. It was fake. It wasn't real.
You've just been pranked.
And then I would tell him right away, though. I wouldn't make him think for like a week he relapsed.
No, you gotta do it for a year.
Yeah, he's trying to make a better life for himself, and then he has like a year celebration of. Well, I should say she too, because I make it sound like only guys that have that stuff happen. But he/she thinks, is at his meeting like, yeah, And then I go to like his thing when he's getting his 1 year, and I'm like, yeah. By the way, you never relapsed. I put it was a prank. So, I'd be dead on arrival. I'd be like, I'd be at that meeting getting like pummeled. They'd be like kicking me all over the place. I'd be bloody all over the place. It'd be bad.
Oh yeah, they'd be enjoying it.
Be like, yeah, this is what you get for. I'd be thrown out the window. I would not survive that. Like, I'd be like on the ground, in the dirt, and you'd be coming over there. I feel like too, you wouldn't even be. You'd be part of it too, just to say you could. Not even for the reasons that I did that, just so you could say you beat the shit out of me and all that type of stuff. Like, you'd just be like, this is what you get for all those questions you ask me every day, not leaving me alone, type of thing. Like, leave me alone.
That's for beating me in 2K22 GM mode.
Yeah, like it's just like I'm. But anyhow, let's get back to the match. But yeah, so Shawn Michaels, you can tell, was hurt. But he doesn't know he's hurt because he's on pills. And Undertaker continues to beat up Shawn Michaels. I don't know if Undertaker knows he's hurt, but I don't know. Undertaker's probably just like,
I think he knew, like, not long, like, not after the spot, but like you could probably tell, like, something was up.
I wonder if Undertaker had to be like, dude, you hurt. Let's go home. And he's like, nah, we're gonna keep doing. I'm fine. I'm on drugs. I don't feel anything right now.
I literally don't feel a thing because it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
We haven't gone the mandatory 20 minutes yet.
Yeah. But yeah, so Undertaker just continues to dominate Shawn Michaels. Undertaker's like, yeah, if you don't want to go home, then fine. I want to beat the shit out of you anyways. I hate you. And Undertaker hits old school on Shawn Michaels. You're probably thinking to yourself right now, this dude's been watching for so long. You think you know how the biz? You're acting like a complete fucking rookie here right now, thinking all this stuff happened. Like, you're making shit up for no fucking reason. But whatever. But eventually Shawn Michaels starts to gain control. He hits a neck breaker on the Undertaker, but yeah, it wasn't enough to put him into the casket. I don't know what Shawn Michaels was thinking there, trying to put him in the casket. Like, what did you think? What were you thinking, Sean? That's not going to finish the Undertaker.
Well, he's not thinking. He's on drugs and he's hurt.
Yeah, he's very hurt. But he doesn't know he's hurt. And then eventually
Undertaker knows that he's on drugs.
Yeah, and then Undertaker puts Shawn Michaels into the casket, and his hands out of the casket, so he's not fully in the casket. It's not fully closed. So nothing can be done about it. So then Shawn Michaels takes powder and throws it into the Undertaker's eyes. And Shawn
cheater.
Michaels, it's technically no DQ, so you can't cheat in a no DQ
Fucking
match.
Cheater.
But I wonder if he was trying to do a little cocaine right there, and he was like, Undertaker was catching him, and he's like, shit, I gotta get this in his eyes right here because I don't want to take a show him doing this shit.
Here it is.
And Undertaker seemed fine. He didn't seem like he got any effects. I guess he didn't inhale it, but it's like, yeah, he got the shit in his eyes and everything like that. I guess Undertaker's dead though, so I guess a dead guy you can't.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, so
he's a dead man. That's
yeah.
He's not a dead pussy. He's a dead man.
The hell are you talking about right there? Like, where are we going at this point? Like. But yeah, Shawn Michaels starts trying to get some offense in. He hits another neck breaker. He hits that like weird clothesline that he hit, and then like kicks up afterwards. And then at this point, he realizes, yeah, my back's hurt. Yeah, I think at that point he realized it. And then Undertaker starts to get back in control. He goes to throw Shawn Michaels into the steps, and Shawn Michaels reverses it, and Irish whips Undertaker knees first into the steps. And he just destroys the Undertaker here. Beats him with the steps. Pile drives him onto the steps. Helmsley hits him a few times with the crutch. It's like, what are you doing? Leave the guy alone at this point. Like, come on. And then Shawn Michaels hits him with a chair. I think at this point, Shawn Michaels too, like, even realized even more he was hurt because he's like shit, I'm hurt. The drugs are wearing off. I'm hurt. Oh no. Drugs are wearing off, and I can't go have drugs right now because I'm wrestling. So, they start. Shawn Michaels does a rest spot because he's like, I'm hurt. I don't want to do anything else. I'm done. I'm just gonna do a rest spot, and then Shawn Michaels, of course, he didn't pick the best rest spot to do. He did a headlock, and how do you counter a headlock? You have to do a back suplex to get out of it. So Sean's like, so not the best choice right there, Sean, to pick a headlock to do as your rest spot. That was not a good choice. And Undertaker mounted to come back. He's hitting some really nice offense onto Shawn Michaels. Eventually, there's this bit where they fight into the casket, and you don't really see what happened. It's closed. I like how the ref's like, "What do I do here? I don't know what to do.
What
it's
do I do?
closed."
It's
Like,
dark.
he's got like his
What
hand.
do I do?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't cut to the camera like in the casket. Like JR even said, there's a camera in the casket, but they didn't cut to it. Like, what are you doing?
They always have that casket inside the camera view, but they never use it.
Yeah, they used it. They used it to show that Shawn Michaels was trying to do a little cocaine, though. They had no problem using it then. I think that was just. I think that was Vince saying, "Yeah, so you want to explain what's going on here, pal? And why didn't you give me? Why didn't I get a little? Huh?
Some good shit."
Oh, he would have thought it was good shit. He was doing that shit at WrestleMania 10. What are you talking about? So, but yeah, eventually they fight out of the casket. Undertaker hits a one-handed chokeslam onto Shawn Michaels, and he goes to put him in the casket, but it's just not happening. And then eventually Shawn Michaels mounts. What do you call it? I can't call it a comeback because he's the heel, so I don't know what to call that. He hits an elbow.
Fighting spirit? No.
Yeah, no. That's a babyface then too.
The kicking ass.
I guess so. Shawn Michaels hits an elbow drop to the Undertaker into the casket, which I didn't even look like it hurt at all, but it was still pretty nice. And then eventually the Undertaker hits a tombstone to Shawn Michaels inside the casket. The ref goes down. China takes out the referee doing this, and the casket's closed, but the ref doesn't see it. Cool. And eventually DX and Los Barriquas run out. Now I assume the only reason they had Los Barriquas run out was because Hunter Hearst Helmsley couldn't do anything. Like if he had been fully healthy.
And they were kind of like in an alliance at this point.
Yeah, but I'm assuming if he were fully healthy, he would have been probably doing stuff.
Yeah, they had hired Los Barriquas to do some shit for them.
And guess what?
My dad's calling me.
Oh shit. It was not a good investment. Eventually Kane comes out and Kane fights off Los Barriquas and the New Age Outlaws.
5 more minutes.
Okay. We can get this done then. You think Undertaker and Kane have gotten together. Kane even does his pyro thing, but it doesn't go off. And Kane attacks the Undertaker. He beats the crap out of him. He chokeslams him into the casket and locks it. Well, Shawn and Hunter Hearst Helmsley close the casket, and there's no music or anything. Kane and Paul Bearer come out, and they lock the casket. They roll it to the ring or to the stage. Kane grabs an axe and just destroys this casket, and he lights the casket on fire, and that's how the pay-per-view ends. This was a hell of a way to end the show. I gave the match 4 3/4 stars. I thought everything was furthered here. I gave it an extra quarter star for the fact that Shawn Michaels continued to wrestle, even though he had that big spot happen early in the match. But I liked what they did here. I loved the match. I loved what the stuff that was set up out of the match. And this had to have been up until probably this year the best way they probably ever ended like the Royal Rumble like pay-per-view of like the best closing angle that got people talking about. I think it's been topped recently, but it was very close. So I'll end it off. But why don't you give a quick thoughts about this match and the star ratings and like the ending, the closing angle and everything like that.
So I thought this pay-per-view was fantastic. Again, I picked it for the Dude Love Cactus Jack Mankind reason. I thought the Rumble was great. The first 2 matches kind of sucked. Not the minis were fine, but yeah, the casket match for me would have been 5 if Michaels didn't get hurt.
Yeah,
Shawn getting hurt really really, really killed that entire fucking match for me. Very early too, but I mean, he continued to fight through it. But yeah, give it like 4.5.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but still, great match. And Sean was right that for me it'd have been a full 5.
Yep.
But yeah, overall, I give this pay-per-view a B+.
I agree with that.
Good show.
Yeah, just great show all around. Really showed that WWF was going to turn things around. So before you get off, because I'm going to say because I forgot to say the buy rate and stuff, I'm just going to say it now. Do you want to know? It's kind of weird in hindsight. We want to know what the tagline for this pay-per-view was.
What?
Pain, just a 4-letter word. What a weird tagline in hindsight, huh?
Bizarre.
Yeah. All right, but I'll let you get off because you got to get. I'll just end this because we pretty much reviewed the show by this point. Is there anything you want to plug or promote before you get off?
No, not today.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing really today to plug. So.
All right, no.
All right, I will see you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, guys. So there's some stuff you can check out that I have going on. So. This week, we're going to be doing another retro. It's going to be recorded Friday. We're going to be doing another one that we're playing catch up on, and then we'll be all caught up. It's going to be Judgment Day 2000. Chris and I will definitely be on for that. Obviously, James, it depends on his schedule and everything like that. And then we have WWE Aftershock going to be recorded Saturday, released at a later date. AEW Spark will be coming at some point. I don't exactly know when. That's going to depend on Noah and I's schedule. And obviously, who does the show? That's obviously going to be a question. It just depends on schedules. And then let's see what else. The Wrestling Rundown recently returned. We did cover everything the week of Night of Champions and Battleground and all the shows that took place. So that's going to be that was a fun thing to do. So definitely check that out. We'll be putting that. Doing episode 2. We'll probably do it the week Collision airs because that makes sense. We'll cover all the shows that has happened and stuff. Yeah, what else? The thumbnail, by the way, because I want to give him credit. The thumbnail today, and he's going to be doing all the future thumbnails, was done by Michael X. It was really well done. He's really good with Photoshop. He really has perfected it, and he's offered to do all the thumbnails and everything like that. And yeah, he does a really good job. So let us know how you like the thumbnails. So that way, it helps Michael X too. It gives him, it could give him some encouragement to continue doing the thumbnails and everything like that. And he would love to hear the feedback, I think. Yeah, he'll be working on most of the thumbnails. And next week, I have a surprise guest coming on to WWE Aftershock. He's been on the channel before, but it's going to surprise you when you see who it is because let's just say he doesn't particularly like talking about WWE, but he's offered to come on and help out. So it will be kind of a unique thing. So it'll be interesting because it'll be the first video that we've just done together. So it would be interesting to see how chemistry will be and everything like that. It could be really good or it could be really bad. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think that's everything I got to plug. Thank you guys for watching this video. And since it's being recorded in the past, I will talk to you guys in the future.
It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Masters Stable Wars entire playlist. FTW Productions Watch Party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw. Mistress Audio Dramatic Readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. All Retro Wrestling Review Series videos on demand and upcoming. All WrestleMania themed retros available now on demand. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play Series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play Series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. Indie Force Episode 26, available now on demand. Jeff Meacham Network, all watch-along events. AEW Double or Nothing Dynamite Go Home Show Watch Party, available now on demand. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Cassidy 18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting, Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news, ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 8, Fast Food and Restaurants discussion. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
We doing all the classics, you heard it then I grabbed it. Flow like Method Man, then run like I'm Rabbit. Soon as I hear the bass line, it be my FaceTime. Music's in my veins, so just in case I'm without my iPod or a media player, I'll check my